Well, it's the 2nd of January and unfortunately it's my first day back at work today, which is always unpleasant, isn't it? But what did lift my spirits slightly is that I received a radio kit in the post. It must have come in over Christmas and it was waiting for me on my desk when I got there. So this is a picture of the eBay listing, and what we've got this time is a little FM transmitter, because we've built a radio kit now, so I thought we could have a go at building a transmitter kit. And I guess I should put in a bit of a disclaimer to say that it's probably almost certainly not legal to build these in the UK. It could be different in the country that you live in. But basically there is tight regulations about where we can transmit and where we can't transmit. And this does actually transmit in the FM broadcast range. As such, I'm sure it would be illegal. But I'm going to work on the principle that who's going to find out? And I'm not going to tell anybody if you don't tell anybody. So it is, of course, completely traditional for kits that you buy from China to come with half the information missing or no information at all. And this didn't come out with any information apart from the eBay listing where, for example, you get a circuit diagram with no component references on it. You get a picture and then you get this little component list here, which does have some component references on, but unfortunately doesn't match up with the schematic because that doesn't have any component numbers on. That's all part of the fun, isn't it? So this is what I'm going to build and test tonight, and I thought while I was building it we could just chat about the new year and plans and stuff like that. Now everybody at work has got this flu and lurgy. In fact, my wife's been quite ill with flu over Christmas, but she's on the mend now. So everybody's had flu, and I think I've been, almost getting it, so I'm afraid my voice is a little bit croaky at the moment, so I'm sorry if I can't speak properly. Hopefully you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. Got a little baggie of various components that I've just emptied out on the desk here, and I guess what we'll do is we'll just start stuffing these components in the holes, and I can chat and wax lyrically about what we're going to be doing in the new year. So I guess I should just sort out into rough piles of what we've got here. So here's some resistors, and they do have that look of incredibly cheap and nasty resistors that you only get in Chinese radio kits. They must actually manufacture these really nasty resistors just for this purpose. Oh, and get an LED. This LED is actually more pink than red. I'm sure that looks really disgusting when it's lit up. Oh, we get some little inductor coils. We get 3 of them. They're cute. It's nice that they've previously wound them for us, because life is too short for winding coils, isn't it? Got a little jack plug socket here, which I think is for plugging in an external microphone if you want to. Got a terminal block, which I think is probably too good to use. I might just keep that, use it for something else. I'm going to put a PP3, is it PP3? I always forget, PP9, PP3. I'm going to put a little 9-volt battery clip on it. Oh, that's cute. It comes with a little, is that ceramic? No, a little plastic variable capacitor for tuning. He's a cute little fella, isn't he? And we get some transistors. I think that's a 9018. I wonder if they're all the same. 9018, 9018, oh no, 9014, whatever that is. So a few different types of resistors there, transistors. So it comes with a little potentiometer, which is a little volume control for the transmitted audio. Oh, and we probably get the world's cheapest and nastiest looking little electret mic. I'm sure that's going to be high fidelity. Not. Some more resistors here, and let's sort the capacitors out. So there's a 100 nan, 100 nan, 100, what's that, another 100, something I can't read, and in fact quite a lot of others that I'm afraid I just can't read. Is that going to be 100 nan? That's an easy one. Okay, so we've got some 100 nans, and we've got some things which are just so squidgy and blurry I can't actually read the markings on them. Yeah, I don't know. I've got to get the meter out and check them. Right, I think that's a very splodgy 1 nanofarad. I better just check that. I say splodgy, the writing's splodgy on it. Hopefully that's 1 nanofarad. I think it says 102 on it. Yep, okay. And it's actually pretty much bang on 1 nanofarad at that. Yeah, I'm not complaining with that. So there's a 1 nanofarad. Is there any more of them? That says 201. That's 200 picofarads. I've actually got one here that's got nothing written on it. I guess there's not a lot of point in checking it if it's got nothing written on it, is there? Because I wonder whether it's right or not. Okay, yeah, there is a bit of a splodgy outline, 24, and yeah, that could be a 24 on there, I guess. So there's a 24. that's 30 picofarads, 30 picofarads, 47, 47, 15 and 15 picofarads. So that's them sorted. So it comes with this nice little FR4 circuit board, so nothing wrong with that, and for a change it's actually got nicely tinned pads, so hopefully that's going to take the solder a little bit easier this time than it often does. So while the soldering iron's warm up and I find a hole to stick it in, I might as well talk about the New Year's plans and things like that. So I was watching Simon Spears' channel the other day, and I'm a big fan of Simon's work. He's also one of my first subscribers, so I like to stay in contact with Simon and see what he's doing. And he was talking about not his New Year's resolutions, but he gave a bit of an overview of what he'd been doing on his channel and maybe what he planned to do in 2019. I thought that was quite good. What did we do this year? I've got no idea what we did this year. I've got the memory of a goldfish. I've got absolutely no idea. So one of the things that Simon was talking about was some of his audio amplifiers and stuff like that he's repaired this year. And I did think that was quite interesting because I know, well, like most things, I know nothing about audio gear. And, you know, Simon's the expert, especially when it comes to amplifiers and stuff like that. But one thing that caught me interested, he was talking about some of his amplifiers were very good, and then he was also talking about this one that was disappointing and he'd never been very happy with. So I did actually send Simon a private message on that, because I don't think I could tell the difference between, you know, a good amplifier and a really bad one in a blind test, because I'm not going to say I haven't got good hearing. I mean, my hearing is as good as you know, as anybody else's of my age, but I don't think I could really appreciate, you know, the quality of sound between a good amplifier and a bad one. So what I was interested in, and this is what I said to Simon, do you think you could, with test instruments, tell the difference between a good amplifier and a bad amplifier? So I'm quite interested in, you know, if Simon can do something on that, you know, maybe give us a blind test between, you know, something he considers to be a really good one and maybe the amplifier that he really hates, and we could actually see the difference in it. It's funny, I was meant to be talking about my channel, I'm actually talking about other people's. Sorry Simon, I'm finding work for you to do, aren't you? But that's the thing about these YouTube channels, isn't it? We all kind of we all learn from each other. You know, I'm subscribed to a lot of different channels. In fact, I feel a bit unfair mentioning them, because if I forget somebody you might be offended, but there's Vintage Electronics channel that's run by Jack. I've really enjoyed watching his stuff this year. He's done some great contents and he's really into old vintage radios, and he's based in America, so he shows radios and stuff that, you know, we don't necessarily see in the UK, so he's had some really good contents. We've got Graham, Radio Cunt. Yeah, almost right. Almost got that wrong then, didn't I, Graham? Radio Cruncher, slip of the tongue there. I've got to admit, I've been absolutely loving some of Graham's contents this year, especially his live streams, which he does on Sunday. I mean, apart from all the hacker radios and Horrible Roberts radios, apart from that, his channel is absolutely fantastic and well worth dropping in on. Simon Spears I've already mentioned, he's got a great channel. The Deaf Pom, Scott, I've spent an awful lot of time watching his channel. Yeah, I've wasted a vast proportion of the year watching his stuff. He's always doing some interesting repairs, and he does test gear, and also I think he's got quite a lot of experience with CBs. So I've been watching a lot of Scott's stuff because at the moment I'm kind of interested in CBs, so that's what I've been doing. I need to find the other resistor, don't I? Otherwise this is going to take all night. So the resistor we're looking for is R3, and it's a 1 megohm. So on your marks, get set, go. Ah, done. Did he beat me? Don't know. So another channel I've been watching a lot this year is Andrew's channel. He's got a pi symbol on his YouTube channel. Something, it's a really bizarre name, like Andrew Wasserfer or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what his name is. So what I'll do is I'll put a link on the show notes to some of these people, because I've probably got some of the channel names wrong. Mike's radio repair, he's an American chap who specialises in, I was going to say specialises in CB radios, but he does ham radios, and I think he does other stuff as well, like hi-fi equipment. But you know, he's a proper electronics engineer. You know, unlike me, unlike the hobbyist who just comes in and plays with test gear occasionally. I think Mike, this is how he makes his living, repairing stuff. And well, it's always impressive when, you know, you see a master at work, somebody who just knows the subject inside out. So it's a pleasure to watch his videos. I will put a link in the show notes, and if I've forgotten any of you, I'm sorry. And by all means, get in contact with me. Send me a YouTube message, and I'll add you to the show notes if I leave anybody out. Now, one of the other things that's been on my mind recently is basically just how long I've been doing this little channel, which is only just over a year. And the fact that I think I've got about 150 videos, it's quite a lot anyway. I kind of remember my first video that I made, which, well, it wasn't very good to say the least. In fact, I still wouldn't say any of my videos are very good. But it's strange the reason that we make these videos. I mean, when I actually started making videos on YouTube, the main reason I made them is because, well, I'm rubbish at writing things up in lab books and log books and stuff like that. I wish I could write up really detailed notes of what I do, but that's not, you know, that's not really the sort of person I am, making detailed notes. But I thought what I could do is, you know, I could switch a camera on, and with YouTube being free to upload things, you know, I've only got so much room on my hard disk. I thought, well, I can make videos and I'll just upload them onto YouTube. And then I can go back and I can have a look at past projects. Just to let you know, I'm cheating now. I've given up reading the resistor colour codes and getting them off this other sheet up here. I've just cut to the middle, man. I'm just looking at pictures of my iPad in front of me, and I'm just pulling the resistors off the pile with these colours on, so I'm being even more lazy. So the reason I started making YouTube was just for my own personal use, just to document what I was doing, and for no other reason than that. But then I got 2 or 3 subscribers, and in fact I think I had about 2 or 3 subscribers for many months. I think, again, I can almost remember who my first subscribers were. It was I'm pretty sure Simon Spears might have been the first, and there was Andrew, and there was Sam, and maybe a couple of others. And I stayed with having, you know, just like 5 or 6, a handful of subscribers for probably 6 months, and then no idea why, but my subscriber count did pick up a little bit, and I've got around 600 now, which kind of amazes me. You know, how you come to have 600 subscribers. I guess anybody who just makes up videos and puts contents out there, you know, there's something for everybody. Somebody will find you and start watching it. And I always say that to people who subscribe to my videos, and some people leave, you know, really amazing comments, and I always say, you know, somebody like you, you've got such good comments, why don't you make videos of your own? Because, you know, you've got such a lot to offer. And I say that to anybody. So any of you who's watching this video, get your camera out, get your iPhone out, and just make a little video and upload it, because, you know, that interaction with your audience and your subscribers, it's the best part. What has been surprising about this little YouTube game is, well, the number of friends that I've made all around the world. I never imagined that that would be the spin-off. And literally, I mean, I have got pals now in, I mean, I suppose I had friends in America and stuff like that before, but, you know, I've got comments, and I now regularly speak to people, you know, all around the world. You know, I never imagined I would have never imagined doing that when I started making these little videos for my own purpose. I always say, if you leave a comment, I will always try and answer it if I can. Sometimes the comments get lost, so if I ever don't answer something, I apologise. I do mean to answer everybody's comments. If you're good enough to watch one of my videos and leave a comment, the least I can do is try and give you an answer. But, you know, maybe I can't always give you an answer, or maybe I can't always give you a good answer, because I may not know better than you do. Probably, you know, you might probably know, well, half my subscribers know a lot more than I do anyway. So, you know, quite often if I don't give you a good answer, it's because I don't know what the answer is myself. But hopefully, if I don't know what the answer is, I will just tell you. I'll say, sorry, I don't know. So having talked about everybody else's channel, what am I going to be doing this year? Well, probably much the same. One thing that's been, I wouldn't say surprising to me, but I keep saying that I like building these radio kits. I've had an awful lot of pleasure out of building these kits, and you know, it's important to do stuff that you enjoy. So maybe I'll do less of the, you know, higher end expensive test gear and try to concentrate on cheaper things. And it's not necessarily the money thing, it's not that. I think it's just that you can get as much pleasure, or I can get as much pleasure from, you know, building this little, for example, this £1.99 radio kit. I can get as much pleasure building this as I could be with, you know, fannying around with a spectrum analyzer. I don't take these things too seriously. This is just a hobby for me. You got to follow your passion. You got to do what you enjoy. So I think I'd like to build more of these radio kits. I quite enjoyed that mystery item that Sam sent us the other day. I don't know if I'll have uploaded that video yet, but one of my subscribers sent me a bit of unknown gear, which I better not spoil it because I'm not sure what order these videos will go out in, but Sam sent me something, and that was interesting to play with. So maybe I'd quite like to do some teardowns of stuff that I don't actually know what it is, because I quite enjoyed that. I definitely want to do a lot more work on the Chevy truck this year, which I know some of you aren't interested in it, so, you know, sorry about that. Just skip them videos if it's not for you. And I think the other thing I'd like to do is maybe do some more PCBs. I mean, I was thinking the other day, it's been quite a long time since I made that PCB for that DC, computer controlled DC load. In fact, that's one of my first videos, and that was about 2 years ago. Now, just thinking about some mechanical projects, I should mention another of my friends, Andrew or Andy. And Andrew's got a channel called Vintage Steel. Now, Andy is a guy who kind of got me into the American truck scene and the American cars, and he's got quite a lot of American stuff, and he's got loads of cars, and he loves his automobiles, and he also built that board racing, that vintage bike. He's been working on that, and he's getting a few subscribers. So he's got a little channel here in the UK where he's restoring a Dodge Dart. And, you know, that's a proper little, well, not a little, it's a proper American muscle car. So he's got a channel on that. And he's got a very, very nice, easy-mannered, relaxing way of presenting stuff. So if you've enjoyed some of my mechanical projects, go and support my friend Andrew, Vintage Steel, because he's doing some really interesting videos now. I think I mentioned live stream videos earlier. I'm not sure whether I'd like to do a live stream of my own or not. I don't think I could handle being put on the spot. You know, you'd ask me questions and I wouldn't be able to answer them. So I don't know whether it'd be a good idea to do a live stream video, but I enjoy taking part in them. As I said earlier, I've been watching a lot of Radio Crunchers live streams on Sundays, and that's always a really nice place just to hang out. If you're into vintage radios and electronics, I would definitely recommend hanging out on Graham on the Radio Cruncher channel. He does a Sunday afternoon show. He must hold the record for some of the longest shows. I'm sure he had one a few weeks ago that was like 6 or 7 hours, and I watched it continuously. It's good to have on in the background while you're doing your own projects. It's, you know, it's like having a friend in the room. It's great. Now, I guess while I was talking about live streams, I should probably mention DefPom as well, because DefPom tends to be on in the UK. He comes on my Saturday night. I'm guessing that's his Sunday morning. But again, Scott's always good to watch. He seems to be quite into his test gear, which I'm interested in. And I've just recently noticed he started doing MacBook repair, which I don't think I fancy doing MacBooks, to be honest. That kind of detailed surface mount work doesn't really float my boat, but I'm guessing it's good to stretch your skills, isn't it? You know, if you're not learning, you're kind of going backwards, and I think that's one of the reasons he's getting into MacBooks, because because a lot of people are also interested in MacBooks, I guess. But to be able to do that surface mount skill, it's a good skill to acquire, because let's face it, through-hole technology like this, it really is dead. There's less and less of it every year. In fact, that's something that's become a real problem at work. I mean, a lot of my old boards that I developed years ago, they're all through-holes, and so many components now are, you know, they're going to be surface mount only, and they're going obsolete. Now, I've had the camera switched on for about an hour now, and I don't know if I'll put this video out or not, because it's doubtful whether or not anybody would be interested in listening to me dribble on about nothing for an hour. But on the off chance that I do put it out, why don't you use the opportunity to leave in the comments what you plan to do this year? And maybe in 12 months' time we can look back and see if we accomplished anything that we thought we would. I didn't make any New Year's resolutions this year because I've kind of given up, because I never managed to keep them. Yeah, I never managed to keep them. But if you've got some New Year's resolutions, yeah, leave it in the comments. I'd love to know what you're all planning to do this year.